All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Vinland Saga, Season 2, Episode 23. Holy shit.
Yeah, Peakland Saga.
Yep.
Knut and Thorfinn are talking, and they have leveled with each other.
Mm-hmm.
There is a very clear understanding of who they are, what they want, what they can do, what they can't do. Knut is trying to save the Vikings.
Yep.
He believes that if he does what he's doing, the Vikings and who they are and what they've believed and what they've come to rely upon as their cycle of violence in their culture, he can stop it. So get in line.
Yeah.
Your goals, your petty little desires to save this one farm here.
He's not interested.
Who cares?
And he has a whole lot of spears.
Yeah. It's property. Bibbidi bobbidi. Yeah, your farm is now my property. So
Clickety clackety, I order my spearmen to attackety.
Yeah. What I love about this here is that Thorfinn does not have any easy way out of this.
The most that he could get is that our good boy
Einar.
No, not Einar. The son, Omar, shows up and is like, "Hey, I'm surrendering anyways."
Right.
But that doesn't solve the problem of the what do you do in these situations, Thorfinn? Because these Thorfinn absolutely will happen.
Because Thorfinn has thought about the people that he wants to save, and that's good.
Yep.
In a lot of ways, he and Knut could work together. There's many ways in which they could,
except
the fact that Knut is like, no, I have quite a lot of enemies. Your ideology and philosophy, Thorfinn, does not apply here.
Nope.
That's what it comes down to. I am king. I decide this, and everyone
who lives and who dies.
That's mine. Come here.
And I'm not going to spare the few for the sake of the many.
Yep. It's that,
or the few at the expense of the needs of the many.
Yeah. It's that simple.
Yep.
I'm really excited to see how Thorfinn either reaches the heart of Knut, speaks in such a way that he just adds something new to the table, or like, pulls something where he realizes that, okay, I can't stop you. I can't stop you, but he
could.
No, he really can't. Like, how would he do it? Just fight all of them?
No, kill Knut.
That's the thing. He would have to fight all of them in order to kill Knut. He's literally surrounded by spears.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
No, exactly right. That's the problem, right?
And it literally Knut. Thorfinn would never sit down and realize, if I kill the main guy, that's
the old way of thinking.
To everything here.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited.
The hard path,
the impossible path,
the impossible path, and so now, can you somehow pull a miracle out your ass and make this work?
Yeah,
like
I think if they had some kind of way in which they, as a group, like the ones that are still alive on our side of things, the farm and everything, talk to him, maybe, but not really. So
he wants your stuff.
Yeah, he wants your stuff. Here we are, penultimate episode, I think, of the season as well. So, we can have a pretty crazy cliffhanger here too. So,
good.
Y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. 2 paths. All right.
But they would kill you.
Ooh. All right, Knut's perspective, yeah. Oh. And yet, he and his light comes out of the darkness.
Oh, really?
Oh. Oh. Wait, what is Thorfinn gonna follow that up with? I will.
Right, this is his answer.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, do you seek that? Like, no, of course not, right? Wow. Wow. Such humility.
Mm-hmm.
この帝王の前へただ還元をしに来たのか。さよなら。王兵か。
And just like that, the power balance totally shifted with this conversation.
Oh,
turning
shit.
away from a king.
I mean, yeah, he's leaving. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. Yeah.
世と駆け引きをしたがる者は多い。
Mm-hmm.
罠にはめようとする者も。だが。なんだそなたは寸鉄も帯びず、散々殴られ、農場接種をやめろと言いに来ただけか。
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
これほどくだらない和平交渉は初めてだ。バイキングの中から
Yeah.
このような男が生まれうるのか。
Mm-hmm.
美しい男だ。
Ah.
争いを離れ、どこへ逃げる。ここじゃないどこかだ。お前に教えることはできる。
Oh.
逃げられるだけ逃げてやるさ。
Mm.
逃げる先があるうちは、俺は戦わない。
Wow.
Okay.
お前の作る世界では、生きていけない人たちのために。
Mm-hmm.
お前と俺自身のためにもできるのか。
Yeah. Do you actually believe you can do it? Yeah.
力はお前よりずっと小さいんだ。
Huh.
お前も努力しろ。
Wow. Arm crossing. The
Yeah.
the level setting.
I love
wow. Yeah.
似たのであろう。
Where did you learn all this? Yeah. From a lot of people.
面白い。これほど難しい和平交渉は初めてだ。
Mm-hmm. Because he's getting challenged. It's not
Yeah.
the actual talks themselves that like provide such a. No way.
You're kidding. Really?
他の農場を接収する計画も白紙にも。
Holy shit.
仕事を増やしては悪いので。
Thorfinn basically just said, get good. And it worked.
要は今まで共に戦う者はそのくらいしかおらぬと思っていた。
I know there's someone else out there. Another warrior. Yeah.
その後、クヌートはイングランド財政を圧迫していた
Oh shit.
解散を命じる。だが、危惧されたイングランドでの反乱は起こらなかった。
Yeah.
クヌートが軍事力を手放すことで、征服者と非征服者の関係が
Holy shit. Canute the Great.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
I to breathe. That was amazing. That's just the first half of the episode.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, this is where he is.
Oh, gorgeous.
He... just gonna keep bringing her flowers every day. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, he's recovered very well. That was probably several days since. Given the flowers.
Not yet.
Gotta gather people first, right?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's, yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh. Oh. God. Oh.
Holy shit.
Yeah, brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's the second to last episode of the season.
I mean, we gotta go back to Iceland. We gotta go back to Iceland.
Sure.
Like, come on. All right. All right.
Okay, and Pater survived. Okay.
Oh. Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Strong and kind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's fucking go. Right.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm.
I can bring people here to then go from here to Vinland, maybe?
Nothing! He took nothing!
Wow.
What a giga Chad. Holy shit. I thought he would take at least something.
Yeah, like that would realistically help a lot with what you're planning to do.
Boat-related stuff, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh! Remember that.
Okay.
All right.
Fuck, man.
The story begins again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's go, Omar.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, and he's with the girl from the family, yeah.
Yep.
Carve it. Oh.
And they're helping out too. Yeah.
Carve it into your flesh. Carve it into the land. Whoa. Whoa. He left.
Yeah. Right, because that's not a place for him anymore.
Carve it into your spoils. Carve it into your enemies. Carve what you feel into me. Potter. All right. Oh. Oh. I don't think I've ever seen him open his eyes.
Yeah.
I think I just thought he was blind. Carve that encounter into me. Ooh. 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 Yeah.
How do we have an episode after that?
I mean, we put all the hope into what the future will look like.
Yeah, set the...
I mean, they're headed to Iceland for sure.
Yeah, I think
100%.
So. Yeah.
All right, we've resolved
Holy shit.
We've resolved this entire arc.
Yeah.
It's done. We reached the heart
of
of
a
the
king.
king.
Yeah.
Canute
Uh-huh.
turned away from all this.
Yup.
He disbanded the English garrison army.
Uh-huh.
He reduced his overall army down to 16 ships.
Holy
which is
shit.
like
That's crazy.
that's wild.
That is
He's basically realizing that if he's actually wanting to save the Vikings,
he can't save them with their own methods.
well, not only can he not save them with their own methods, but he's realizing the grand scope of that when he sees what Canute is up against. The idea that essentially he is no more powerful than Thorfinn is,
Okay.
because what Thorfinn is trying to do is impossible.
Right.
What Canute is trying to do is
just a hair
little
less
bit-
than impossible.
A hair less than impossible, right?
Yeah.
Right. But it's still that thing where if you're not going to, do it,
Uh-huh.
now,
Yeah.
when is it ever going to
Right,
be
when is it
done?
ever going to happen? And
Yeah.
and yet the idea that which is so great because
Mm-hmm.
the idea in stories, if you've got the two main characters, usually when they're dudes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's there's what each of us can do on our own, and we're in estranged different groups with different ways of doing things, but when we team up, we can do the impossible. That's
Right.
basically what they set up here, in that it's hey, you do things your way, I'm not going to tell you to change that, and my goal is to do all the stuff that you can't do.
Yeah.
Right? And there you go. There
Yeah.
you go.
And
right?
the thing is that the methods that the king has are going to be different than the ones that Thorfinn has.
Yep.
But because he's the king, he actually can have his power used to adopt some of Thorfinn's methods.
Yep.
And the thing that was so cool about this story all this time was that, like, Canute, like, I know Canute from his, 30s.
Right.
So we're still
is
kind
before
of,
then,
we're
yeah.
still kind of before then, but
Uh-huh.
there are things that he did that resemble this.
Hmm.
And it's the kind of thing where I'm like, holy shit, wait. I think he would have done this. Yeah, I don't know if this literally happened, but
But this is
this is on the
certainly-
same lines.
certainly
Yeah.
in this narrative, it is a milestone moment where the Canute's been trying to approach this whole situation with a different logic than the world that he grew up in.
Right.
And Thorfinn basically just said, well, why not take that logic a step further, right? The whole idea of disbanding the Danish occupational force in England, and that actually worked. That the English noblemen were then like, okay, we will
respect that.
respect the trust that you have placed in us, and we will govern this place well.
There's
right?
obviously the implied threat of we could always inscript or conscript that
Right,
army
to
again.
bring it back. Yeah.
There's nothing stopping us from doing that.
But we're going to like give the olive branch, act in good faith that basically
Taking the high road first.
taking the high road first, being
Yeah.
a true leader,
Yeah.
that we don't need to do that, and also a way to show you genuinely that we do not want to.
Right.
Right? Canute doesn't want to have to do that because it's a huge expense.
Yeah.
They don't want that to happen because obvious reasons,
Yeah.
right? And so, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And
Brighter
this is-
tomorrow.
And this is the crazy part here is what Canute's expansive conquest will be from here on out. Well, he's going to start continuing this work in other lands.
Yeah, well, and I'll bet you that this could suddenly turn from something where maybe not immediately, but down the line, maybe it's not that you conscript people to help occupy England; it's you conscript people from England, right? Like theoretically, that could happen depending on how much he
Well, I
wins
mean-
them over.
it's the nature of kings and vassal states
Right.
and nobility. It's exactly what kings would do.
right,
It's
and yet
just they would just basically say, "Hey, the king is calling you all to arms.
I need this many men. Yeah.
Bring your finest men.
Yep.
I'll provide the ships, or provide as many of the ships as you can. we're going to go. Here's the deal as to what you're entitled to based on this conquest here. Here are the terms of our conquest, and here's where we're going. So,
And you might
yeah.
you might actually get you might get more enthusiastic people
Right.
fighting for you than you otherwise would have.
Right. He's creating essentially a upper class of servants in his empire, in his territory, by having the nobility basically run the order and structure and control of things for him.
Yeah.
Which, that's better than just being a roving despot that has, just the might of their army speaking
Right, I've
for
got
them,
big sticks.
rather
yeah.
than the deals associated within the context of peace talks between
Right.
the other leaders. That is a step up. It's still just a monarchy that's, ruled because
Right.
of might makes right.
But coming out of the Dark Ages, basically, like that's pretty damn good.
Right. It's a step up from the kings of the past, and it's something that will be tested again many, many times.
Yes.
So I'm excited for Canut's story there, but it's one that in some ways I already kind of know. So the thing I'm most excited for in this story is that when we go to Iceland, when we have the family reunite, when we have the communication of this is what I want to do, and they're like, what the fuck?
Yep,
What?
yep, uh-huh.
Who are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait. Actually,
We haven't
hold
seen
on.
you in 15 years. Yeah.
Yeah. I am excited for the vision that Thor's had of bringing the people to Iceland, reaching them in their minds and their memories when they see Thorfinn come in. He's basically
I wanna do
taking
that,
a
but
step
bigger.
further.
Yeah.
They're like, holy shit, this is
Right.
this is
Because-
the spirit of Thor's within this man.
Yep. We'll follow
Yes,
this man. Yeah.
absolutely, we'll follow him.
And I also like that it would start with the people in Iceland because one, their people have done that before.
Yeah.
But two, it's we're gonna upgrade to a better place. This is very hard land to work.
Well, but also imagine how many of them maybe over the course of time had to say, well, I probably won't ever see those family members again.
Sure.
Those cousins.
Yeah.
Those people there.
Yeah. Or just another way to think about it, and maybe this is what you were talking about, but Thor's kept them safe from a recruitment one time.
Well,
That was a long time ago,
They
though.
were never getting recruited.
Or sure, they specifically wanted Thor's. It wasn't the rest of them.
No.
Yeah.
They could care less.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the point of the Iceland group is that there was no real strong standing
Sure.
group of men that fought in any way.
And it's probably one of
so
the biggest.
small and
Yeah, very small, but also probably one of the main things that made it so they didn't really have to worry about that is because the land was so bad.
the land was so bad, the colony was so small.
They didn't have stuff that other
have-
people wanted. It was
they-
the opposite problem of
Kettle.
Of Kettle.
Yeah. Basically, they solved the kettle problem.
If you don't have anything, people won't want to take it from you.
But that's the thing. In a lot of ways, that's one of the aspects of Thorfinn's life that he's already taking on here. He took none of the money.
Yeah. Even
He
though
doesn't need it.
Even though that could have been very helpful from the standpoint of, just getting extra ships to be able to
Sure.
take more people.
I
or
can imagine
whatever.
being Leif and looking at this and going, oh, I have a lot to learn. Whoa. I
Yeah.
would have taken this and I would have gotten us 3 ships,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Three, not like warships, but like,
Yeah.
like something for the purpose of transporting more people. But
This is an expedition that will cost a lot of money.
Well, but that's not the point. This is going to cost Thorfinn his life. He is not.
Yeah.
He is not going to be dissuaded or encouraged based on how much money he has here.
Yes.
He is so wholly devoted and set in this that he's going to sway hearts and minds, and they're going to help him get his boats.
And- yes.
I am so excited for that because the idea that he swayed Canute here is one because of his relationship with Canute.
Yes. Yeah, let's be real. That
Let's be real.
definitely has an aspect of it.
The idea that Canute went through a very similar transformation of sorts and started speaking from a place that was beyond the minds of the Vikings and Danes around him. He resonates with that.
Yep.
But he still has kind of relegated himself to the, well then, fuck you, God, I will do what I can here on this earth.
Yeah.
He sees Thorfinn coming in. Thorfinn is no god. Thorfinn
And-
is no king.
and nothing
Thorfinn
like
has no
who he
real
used to be.
power. Yes, a completely different person. But it's the things that he's spouting here are nonsense.
Right.
Absolute nonsense. But wait, why is it reaching me?
Yeah.
Something about his light, something about who he is breaking through the voice that's
Yeah.
resounding in my head saying, kill him, kill him, kill him, he's dangerous,
Yeah.
he's dangerous. And he completely ignored that, not only defeated his father in that moment
Yes.
there,
Uh-huh.
but changed his mind and did that in front of all of his men and was like, yeah.
That's huge. That's
Like,
crazy.
Floki and the Yalms Vikings were like, bro,
What the fuck?
what?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Not only is this just a thing of where it seems stupid in that we could get more resources and all this other stuff,
But
and
we also like came out all
but
this
we
way.
literally came all this way. We killed tons of people.
And that aspect was very much established in
Yeah.
that we are not your subjects.
Right.
We are your allies.
Yeah.
That is different.
Very different.
And that could be one of the potential future points of conflict if this doesn't actually work for Canute. Because, the subjects, that might be a bit easier to work with, right? But when it's allies and they see you essentially displaying weakness,
yeah.
right? They'll be like, maybe you're not such a great ally to have after all, and maybe we can get some of your pie.
Right, exactly. And yet, we saw what happened in England. Mm-hmm. We
Yep.
literally had the historian come out and be like, and thus this did happen.
Yep.
I'm so excited for this. So having the methods be the main thing that differentiates them. Obviously, Canute is doing things not just in a method that's different, but he is somewhat seeking a different type of paradise. Mm-hmm. Because he can't imagine Thorfinn's paradise. Right. Mm-hmm. But the idea that Thorfinn was like, don't make this any harder for me.
Mm-hmm. It's already impossible.
It's already impossible, but don't make it any harder. I love that in some ways. Will Canute bringing this back to Askeladd from the from the past and stuff like that? He's saying, I want to give you every bit of wind in your sails to go to whatever that place is and make it. But I think that there's something inherently sad in that the next time Thorfinn and Canute will see each other and talk to each other will probably be after things have been settled, pun intended. And I don't know if Canute will be one that he'll want to even bring there. It's something that,
well, there was a very
you will not be in paradise,
Yeah, the where is this place? I am not telling you.
Yeah.
Right? That's
yeah.
Nope.
And I'm very excited for them to get into this because I incorrectly brought up the idea of the colony that gets brought up in Newfoundland by the Vikings, because I think that's what's going to end up being
what Thorfinn starts.
That's going to be the actual
which is
place
crazy to think about.
for Vinland and stuff. And the thing is that we knew in history, a long time ago, that there were many Danes and or people from the Nordic kind of region that had been to North America, but not that far into the actual continent itself. Mm-hmm. And yet there was, I think it was recently actually brought up, so it might have been that discovery that inspired some aspect of Vinland Saga's creation as a story or something like that.
I would not be surprised.
But there was revealed to be a colony in Newfoundland that very clearly had, elements about it that were like, oh yeah, this is clearly from, people that would have been Vikings or Nords and stuff of that region and stuff. So that could be what this story is, kind of connecting the dots of these few things, because I don't I don't remember Thorfinn as being.
Like a historical figure.
Well, no, I don't remember him being known as a one that crossed the Atlantic.
Gotcha.
That's the thing that I'm kind of like not intentionally not reading up anything on.
Sure.
I don't want it to be like spoiled for me.
Right. So and remind me, there's some characters in this show where it's like, okay, they
Leif Erikson.
Yeah,
That's the
Leif
most
Erikson.
historically like
yeah
popular
right,
character in this whole thing.
and then like
here.
Canute and Thorkel. You know, like you like
Canute is a hugely big very popular character in terms of this region's history. Thorkel is like Thorkel gets some attributes attached to him that might be larger than life.
Right.
But he was known as Thorkel the Tall.
right.
Yes, yeah.
And then Askeladd,
Askeladd is entirely fictional. Yeah.
And then Thorfinn is
a real person.
a real person.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. Because I could totally see it being something where, like, thinking from the start, right? You know, have this idea for a story. You know, you hear about all this stuff in this time period with the Vikings and everything,
Right.
and you're like, okay, I think there's a story here. What do I do for a main character? I could absolutely see it being something where it's okay, this thing, say this colony, you know, started somehow, and it came from Vikings.
Right, because it wasn't just
You
we sent boats over to explore. It's we lived here, like we
Right,
actually,
exactly.
like stayed here.
So I would not have been surprised if it was something where it's I will make a main character that then fits into this story to then give perspective, to bring the camera through all of these awesome things in history that happened, and then I'll fill in the blanks with things
Right.
as I go to make a compelling narrative, right?
Yeah. The
but
sad thing is that I don't think the colony survived. Like I don't think it lasted.
I mean that,
'Cause,
yeah.
You know, that's what makes sense. You know,
Right.
disease, the weather, all kinds of stuff. Just
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
food, starvation, all that.
Yes.
Maybe yeah.
To say nothing of the idea of like what happens when you come in and start building a colony, and maybe there's people that are already there, don't like what you're doing.
I mean, that was what Leif directly brought up, was that they encountered the natives there, and they were like, "Oh, yep." They very much were like, "Hey,
What are you
let's
doing
Not
here?"
do anything crazy. Here's some
Right.
gifts. Let's keep it chill." You know.
Yep.
So they definitely encountered the Native Americans there. So
Yeah.
yeah, but all right.
okay.
I am so excited to have the emotional catharsis of seeing Ylva, seeing Helga,
Yeah.
having Thorfinn be there, probably the anger and the pain
yeah.
of not just were you gone, but you could have come back. Like you could have come back a long time ago. And
Yeah.
Thorfinn's been gone a while for sure.
They absolutely think he's dead right
But they
now.
absolutely have thought you were dead for a while. But because Leif has been looking for
Sure.
Thorfinn as well, there's a possibility that they know
That he's out there
that
somewhere.
he's
and
out there
Leif's looking for
somewhere.
him.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a whole thing there.
Although
So,
I could also totally see Leif being like, I don't want to give them false hope.
Yeah.
I want it to be something where I've been
sure.
looking for the last 15 years. He's alive. I found him.
Yeah. The resolution of the characters at the farm, though, I loved that we got Snake's name.
Yep.
Roald or
Roald, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that was really sweet.
And
bit
Omar.
there. Omar, though, saying, I want to be like you. That is how it's going to work.
Yeah.
This is how it's going to work. You're going to change hearts and minds by your actions, but not just that, by the identity and the person that
Right.
you are. Like the essence of what you bring as a human being beyond the actions themselves that inspires almost the to use a drawing comparison, basically that they can see that silhouette and they go, yeah, I'm going to match that that posture. I'm going to match that gaze. I'm going to match those hands. Yeah.
One of my favorite lines from this episode was the one soldier who's just like, you're a strange man, Thorfinn, but I don't want to kill you.
Yeah.
Right? That was before Thorfinn managed to convince Canute
That's true.
to just leave, take nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Like these guys were already going to remember him and be like, there was something up with that guy. Now, how much more so? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I even though they don't have a place in the story, I kind of want to like see some of the soldiers that were here become semi-recurring characters in Canute's story, right? You know, now especially now that the two paths are definitely like fully diverged, you know?
Yeah.
There's no like reunion or whatever, because Canute was already antithetical to like their way of doing things in a lot of ways with stuff that he said and, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So that, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to tell stories about this.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Omar, not just wanting to emulate Thorfinn, he wanted to reward Thorfinn. He wanted to be just like him. And Thorfinn, in his humility, brought up the point in which he's like, I heard that you had, you know, decided to not fight, to surrender. And that's the thing that's really crazy here, is that Omar was scared, right?
Yeah.
But there was something more than that, where he defied not just his father and his brother, who very much did their best to persuade him and give him an out and all that. Yeah, exactly. Just being like, oh yeah, you're just you're just having a bit of a stomach thing, you know, it's just an off day. Yeah, we get it.
Normal, you can work through it.
You'll push past it. Like, no, I'm not going to. He says it took me 15 years to do that. Yeah. And I love how much you don't feel any kind of shame in Thorfinn's words saying this. He's encouraging Omar.
Yeah.
He's saying,
it really is incredible.
It is incredible what you've done, so stick with it. This is going to lead you in some really amazing directions. And I just love that Pother and Sverkel
right there behind
are going to be there behind him. These two men are just incredible. And while Snake is going to have to go through and remember who he really is, perfect with his unveiling of his name here, they're all going to work that farm. And they're all going to basically go and carve this encounter into the land, into themselves, into who they are. That idea of taking and marking a monument to the act of peace between these two men with slightly similar but opposing philosophies.
Yes.
God, it's just incredible.
And I especially love the whole bit with Snake and his men, because I feel like it's it was something that was done very quickly in just like a here's where they are now. And yet it absolutely makes sense that would happen, because if you think about it, a whole lot of people died. If they want this farm to keep going, they're going to need as many hands as they can get.
That's true.
Right? So, yes, the people that were, previously tasked with defending it, they will absolutely start learning how to work the land, right? And that's on top of the fact that, oh, hey, the very thing that we expected.
Omar also runs this place now, so he's going to
be like, no, we're not hiring you as guards anymore. Can you?
Yeah.
Here's a plow, right? Like
right.
Or no, plow. Yeah. Till that land, and he's actually working it alongside them and everything, and it's just, I love it.
Yeah, they turned in their weapons for plows and stuff. I'm trying to remember what that's from, but yeah, the beauty of this, the simplicity of Thorfinn's denial for the material wealth and everything here, gush about that, but. Yeah, this was the culmination of both seasons of Vinland Saga.
Yes.
Because while we still have to do the final culmination of having him come full circle,
return home,
finally complete the hero's journey, which is amazing to think about. That we had the negative origin of the hero's journey, and yet it wasn't for him to then get revenge. It was for him to realize that all of that was the belly, all of that was the pit, all of that was the dark. Void.
And now he is absolutely coming back with a very specific boon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it just feels so powerful to realize that, yes, Thorfinn, it took you 15 years. But
it would have been worth it if it took 40.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I just want Thorfinn to live as long as possible and now bring this... bring what he is just to as many people as possible. So the moment where him and Einar are at the grave of Arnheid and they're talking about this, and they're realizing like, okay, this is what we're going to do.
And the handshake in front of the tombstone. Like,
yeah. Oh my God. It just,
Yep.
it feels so good.
I also really love the detail of the soldiers looking at the blisters on their hands, because it's the realization that no, this is a very hard path.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah. The question she had of, why should I live? And he's like, I didn't know what to say. What do I give to someone like that? Mm-hmm. And then he's like, well, then I'm going to find a world or make one where I can tell people to live.
Yeah.
One where I can proudly describe to people whose only salvation is death. Like, that's a faith. That's a religion right there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like in a lot of ways, what's so amazing about this show is it blends faith and religion into the human experience because of the simplistic living that everyone has in this world. It's way more survival-based kind of thinking.
It gets at why people need that rather than in our modern society where it's a lot more comfy and it's...
Yeah, we don't need to question as many things because somebody else is doing that for us, basically.
Sure.
We have entire arms of civilization that are devoted to exploring and questioning and understanding the mysteries of the universe and all that. So,
oh God, why am I in this situation where I'm trying to run this farm and keep my family fed, and then just randomly a group of Vikings or whoever comes through and now half my family's dead, right?
Exactly.
And I'm lucky to be alive, right? Like,
yeah. So you better be scared or the devil's going to come. And,
right, exactly.
Take it and stuff. Bring it all back to the girl with the ring episode. But to basically say that there's something more than death, there's something more than that, there's a reason for living.
Yeah.
Is such a powerful belief to have because this is not a religion or a faith that he's starting here. This is him basically just demanding that the world that we are in, I want it to be one that's worth living in. That's asking for the most basic beyond survival realization or actualization or progression towards actualization for people.
And one of the things that I love about that is, so if you take this back to the Thor's comparison, one of the establishing factors of Thor's and who he was as a person and his strength of character and everything was the whole deal with the slave. And that he paid all of this stuff just to make it so that the slave wouldn't have to spend any of his final moments
being tortured or whatever, or anything like that.
Right. He could truly be free, have a nice warm bed and everything, even if he was already dead, right? There was nothing that he could do to actually save them.
Yep.
That's kind of a level of acceptance that as a result of all of the things that have happened to you, even if that's the end,
your only salvation will be death.
Right, but at least we'll try and make it as give you everything we can until then.
Yeah.
This is the more brash, responsive. I want to be able to say to that slave,
life is worth living.
Yeah. It is actually worth it to hold on just that little bit longer.
I want to have you come help me make a world where you'll want to live in it. Yeah. And while, no slavery and no war is a great starting point. It's a great starting point.
Yep.
The fundamental aspects of building a new civilization and all that are going to be a whole other ball game, and the drama aspect of this story. So I'm excited for the saga to continue.
Yes.
But just the resolute decision made with Einar here, brother, let's do this.
The few birds that start, and then it shows the whole like flock of birds flying off.
Join our join our desires to theirs, and Einar has been such a wonderful addition to the cast. But the fact that he survived this arc.
Yes.
And is going forward into the future with Thorfinn here. The one who, in a lot of ways, was given the opportunity to become Thorfinn.
Yep.
Through, the desire for vengeance, the desire to reenact the violence that was put upon someone that you love towards them. And has always had that opportunity. Like, really.
He still had that opportunity.
He still has this
after
opportunity.
All of this.
Yes. But he is not only caught onto the vision of Vinland ahead of them, he is so entirely devoted to this because of the depths that he fell to, because of the violence and all this horror and the slavery and everything that was brought upon him. In some ways, there's something beautiful about the image of light being born out of darkness. Like, that's something that I feel like is so mythical and powerful for us as humans.
Something from nothing. You know,
something from nothing, yeah.
Canute being like,
the Vikings
created you.
Yeah, exactly.
How? That is
to think that
beautiful.
even the Vikings could,
right.
you know,
yeah, like
create you. Yeah.
Like, and in a lot
probably
of ways,
gave him so much hope.
Oh, absolutely. And in a lot of ways, I feel like one of the most hopeful aspects of this whole situation, even though Thorfinn's thing that he's trying to achieve is impossible, and you know, we know from history at the very least that it doesn't last forever, right? It took you 15 years.
Right.
But it didn't take Einar 15 years. It didn't take Omar 15 years, right?
No.
Just like you had to figure it out, and not even entirely going from scratch, because you had Thor's, right?
You had to till the ground before them.
Yeah. So
you had to carve the path. You had to carve it into yourself,
Right.
the earth, the sea, the land, everything.
and that's
You had to live it. You had to embody it and become
exactly.
it.
That's an example of how while the thing that you're striving for is absolutely noble, and it would be fantastic if you can achieve it to any degree.
To 100 people, to 1,000 people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
50 people, right?
Absolutely.
The fact that you are doing this, the act of pursuing this, is a reward in and of itself.
Yes.
Omar's life has been forever changed as a result of meeting you.
And his descendants will be changed.
Yes. The future of at least one country, and probably several, have been changed because of this conversation with Canute.
Yeah.
The soldiers that were with Canute, I'm sure their lives will also be changed as a result of this, right?
Yeah.
So it's already working, even if it's not, at the level that you are going for.
And this is why I love stories so much. Stories are something where you take a memory, an experience, and you echo it to somebody else. Now, this could be a fictional, imagined kind of thing that you bring up to.
But who's to say that makes it any less real?
But but to in some ways simplify these iconic moments into a story that can be shared easily.
Yeah.
That's what's so powerful, I think, about the human experience, is that we listen, we adapt, we ingress, we egress, we take in, we absorb, and over the course of time, these stories, these elements of what makes us human get passed on. The traits about them get added into the whole. And while you are definitely fighting an uphill battle in terms of the way in which human nature or human designs or human culture or so many other things can hold us back by keeping us stuck in certain mindsets that make us believe we have enemies.
Yeah.
Make us believe that we have, only to live in order to take and, amass material, like
This
is just so powerful as a story vehicle to bring something that is still to this day considered insane.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. I'm really excited to get into the community discussion of what was going on, like when this story came around through this side of things in the manga, but also just recently with the anime and stuff.
As the episodes are coming out, like week to week and everything.
Because this is still the kind of story that I think most people would inherently reject a lot of what Thorfinn is saying in terms of the practical application of it. They'd go, that's cute and all, but when you're ready to do real work, come talk to me. You know?
Sure. And that's and then on top of that, there's all the people that would be so disinterested by the kind of direction that the story was going that they wouldn't even reach the point where all of this stuff happens, even if they would, be like, oh shit, this is awesome.
I'm going to the highest point of acceptance, but still rejecting it ultimately, in that it's this is a cool fictional story, and
it's the Canute problem that Thorfinn was faced with.
Right, it's the exact same thing. Yep. But the thing is that Canute is human.
Right.
Canute has a heart.
And the argument that was used with Canute is still something that could totally be used with the other people, right? With similar perspectives. Sure, that's fine that you don't want to go after it, but don't make any more work for the people that are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Like, you realize like how powerful just adopting that is. Just the idea of being like, oh, right.
I can make things harder and easier
yes, but to bring it to a more basic perspective here, I'm not the only one fighting for something better or working for something better here. I am not alone. There's this idea that in this season, Vinland Saga, that brings up this idea of the way in which we are as human beings ultimately a community. And if you're doing things that are making it harder for those that are working for a specific avenue of the community's development, that ripples out. That has consequences.
Right.
Like,
you're more powerful than you realize.
You have more influence than you realize,
Yeah.
right? Now, there's obviously going to be, things that have very little ripple effect and stuff. But I was trying to remember what it was, but there was something where it was the your happiness, like your positive energy extends into someone else's. If you encounter someone else with that positive energy and it hits them, the amount of people that it ripples out to where they notice that effect. I'm trying to remember what this study was or something like that. But basically,
but it was an actual. It wasn't like some like philosophical thing. It's like
I was trying to track basically in which encountering people that are having like a good day. It's the equivalent of basically going to the market and talking to someone and you just have a really good positive impact on that person just with your smile, your words, your kindness, and all that stuff there. How many people get the feeling of that ripple effect from that person there?
Sure.
And it's usually that it doesn't hit everybody around that person.
No.
But it has the capacity to go a certain number of people deep. And the idea is that effect is not usually because I'm going to get philosophical here, because we're localized in this limiter called time, that aspect of the event that happened then in the here and now gets passed into the future. It has to, by the nature of that.
Well, right, because if even if it's just one additional domino thrown into the stack, that is an effect.
Right, but I don't think people realize that they're literally dictating and influencing the future of human beings around them by their very presence. This is not talking about, someone that's actually like working hard for a specific avenue of the human global community of
just the casual things that people do. Yeah.
Right, like someone who volunteers for like a Peace Corps or something like that. Yeah. Like that's a wonderful thing, but like I'm talking like just in the basic interaction level. Like,
not to bring it off of the affecting other people kind of a thing, but to give a much more smaller scope example.
Sure.
To show some of the practical aspects of it.
Yeah.
For myself with my health.
Yeah.
And diet and things like that. The problems where I would have the biggest issues with my physical health and things would be when I would think about the fact that I wasn't physically healthy, right?
Sure.
Because then I would start acting in accordance with that. Whereas if I start thinking at it from another perspective of that, every little change can help, right? Then it ended up being something where it became far, far easier to actually take ground because you don't realize all of the ways in which you're passively affecting things with just your current state already.
For yourself, yeah.
Right? So, if you're constantly thinking oh, I'm overweight, and then that leads you to eating unhealthily or whatever, right? That's just stopping that mindset could in and of itself have a huge impact that you wouldn't have otherwise thought, right? And you never know until that starts happening, right?
And
oftentimes you still don't because you're not keeping exact measurements of what happens in things. So acting in good faith, if you will, that can go a long way because you never actually know what will or won't happen.
Sure, yeah. To bring it into the context of the show, Thorfinn has a pretty insane mindset.
Yes.
It's pretty crazy, right? well, but we're watching fiction right now, historical fiction, but like,
Yeah.
we're watching something right now that is embellishing for the purpose of a poetic narrative here. But what Jacob's talking about is essentially the same thing that we're cheering for, Einar and Thorfinn for, is that they've made up their minds.
Right.
And they're going to do this. We don't actually know if they're going to do this.
Nope.
But we are celebrating the change in mindset. The thing is that they're never going to do it if they don't do this.
Right. Exactly.
It's
the first
impossible.
step. Yeah.
It's literally impossible. So most people will despise and or belittle the tiny first step, the littlest of things there, because
that's not going to do the full thing. And it's like,
right. But you're not living an episode of anime. You are living a saga. You are living a larger story. So just understand and take heart in that your story matters. Even if life doesn't feel like it's worth living, even if life feels like it's just absolute shit, no, your life is worth living. Does your space dust particles collected into this, flesh sack that you occupy while walking on this spinning orb around the other floating gas giant in the void mean anything in like some kind of grand sense? No. We have a very, very wonderful coincidence in life here, and it's very, very amazing in terms of everything that it is. But that being said, no, is life worth living?
With the proper perspective, you can make just about anything be true.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if say, this right here is a very noticeable event in Thorfinn's journey, in this story's journey and everything.
Journey,
in Einar's journey, in order to make the thing happen, right? But if you think about it, the decision, like because of the ripple effects and things like that, you could totally say that his decision to try and have the different mindset when he originally was like working as a slave in the forest and everything, and I'm going to try and swear off violence. Yeah. You could say that that's doomed to fail or whatever, right? Or that didn't mean that all of this other stuff was going to happen, but without it, this stuff wouldn't have happened. So in a way, that did make all of this stuff happen, even if it wasn't the direct thing that caused it to happen, right? But it just set things up so that the actual direct action that makes it happen could happen.
And most of us won't have to go through 15 years of living in a slavery setup with a person that killed your dad being the only reason that you have for living.
But maybe in like in the world, someone else's 15 years could save you, or maybe someone's fake 15 years could help you, right?
Yeah, I can't count the amount of times I've been influenced in a positive way because of fictional stories. That's
why we tell them, right?
Well, that's why we tell them.
Yeah.
But y'all, this story is legendary. It's
fucking good.
It's so powerful and special. And now, a new chapter or an epilogue for a current chapter is the only thing we have left. And this anime better get a fucking third season.
And a fourth and a fifth and please all the seasons.
Yeah, Mappa, you're going to be done with Attack on Titan soon. So
let this be the new one.
Let this be the new one. And remember, Doro exists.
Yeah, Doro is also there and it's great too. But
y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. You can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out my Baldur's Gate 3 Let's Play on Twitch. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.